I can tell you what I do. I use Kindle highlights. I really like reading on Kindle. I almost never read. Whenever I buy a physical book, I actually never make it through. So I read Kindle, and what I often do is that I have a time where I'll tell Ben about it, or I talk to people about it, and that actually helps me synthesize, because if I can't explain it, they go, I don't get it. What are you talking about? And I try explaining the double slit experiment. I'm like, I don't think I understand it. And then I go back and read it until I know I can. There's been
studies on that. Yeah. The best way to learn something is to try to teach it.
Yeah. I think we have to stop saying things like there's been studies.
Fine.
It helps me. Let's just talk on anecdotes. It definitely helps me. Having someone like Ben who was generally interested to hear and riff and talk means that I have to have some level of command over it. And if I don't, the conversation fizzles. The other thing I do is since I'm reading on the computer, I have an Evernote. And sometimes I will go from reading to writing instantaneously if I get a good idea, and I'll just write. And that's okay, because I don't reading for me the way can be done to relax, read a fantasy book, get into a flow state, kick back. But I really enjoy engaging with what I am reading. And when it happens that my reading is interrupted because I can't stop typing, that's ideal. So I have several different notes that I'll just make on a particular book, where I'll copy particular phrases that I like sometimes. Sometimes I'll write one paragraph, and sometimes I will write an entire blog post that comes up. And then I have another section when there's a good idea where I just go for podcast notes, which is what you see me referencing on my phone, where I just write an idea, boy on slot, like whatever it is that I was reading about. So that's how I do it. I actually don't try to get in flow. I try to talk to the thing that I'm reading. What about you?
My nonfiction reading is very stilted, because what I will do is, if I'm reading something that I think is profound or interesting or novel, I will stop reading and think, how can I apply this to my own life?
Yeah.
So that's how I remember stuff, is instead of keeping it theoretical or reading an entire book and then going, oh, how do I apply that? Anytime I hit a point, How to Win Friends and Influence People, when he talks about how no one wins in an argument. I used to be really argumentative, and I hit that point and I went, oh my God. And I put it down, and I sit and I think, and I picture my last argument, how it could have gone. And I kind of try to live the most recent experience I had that could have gone differently if I'd implemented that advice.
Do you type, or do you just think?
Nope. No, I just put it down, and I just kind of live in a world in my head. Or with the business, sometimes I'll write it down for the business. But if I'm reading something that's a business book, I will not just read it. I'll read it, and as soon as I hit something that I think we don't do or could learn from, then actually for business, I do have I put a note in my phone. Like when I was reading StoryBrand, I would read until I found something I thought was applicable to us, and then I would stop. I would think how we can apply it, and I would write down how we can apply it. So I would always try to do that, because I think it's easier to remember what you can do in your own life than it is to just remember a point that doesn't tie to anything.
That's
concrete.
I'm glad you said that, because I think that sometimes what people do with these books is they try to remember stats, and they try to remember to understand a theory or phenomenon. I am so selfish when I read these books. I want to know, what can I take? What can I do? How can I teach someone better? And it's in that process of relating it to myself that's what I retain.
Same.
But if you had me read a history book and then just re-express the order of events, and they weren't particularly interesting to me, I don't know that I would be exceptional at that.
Same.
But if I learned a lesson from any particular battle about strategy, and I'd thought, oh my gosh, I'll never forget that. So yeah, make it about you. That's a great piece of advice.
Thanks, man.
Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here, so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations, and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.